we're entering a very strange area for the series, because this is either, from what I've discussed with people about this, it's either the end, which I don't think it'll be. Like, I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping that it's not like next chapter it's Chainsaw Man as like the totality of the series is over. What I'm hoping for, because there's already teased and announcement stuff, I'm hoping that it's either there's going to be a continuation or a spin-off in the same world, because we know that Fujimoto's already looking for people for a new story. But my hopes are that it's either that it just either, even if it's not Denji, that it just exists in the same world, so we can find out more about the Chainsaw Man lore and everything about that, you know, that's been set up. Because I've mentioned before, like, for one, from a standpoint of me, from what I want to see, obviously, like, I want to see more of like Hell and the other devils in the world, because I think Fujimoto has set up a really interesting story structure universe. I think the Chainsaw Man world and everything we know so far is really interesting, and I really like it. I'm not opposed to him doing a brand new, fully new series. If he does, that's his decision, and it'll bum me out, but I'll definitely pick it up because, you know, I like his work and stuff. But from the standpoint, though, of the series itself, it just seems very unlikely to me, because Chainsaw Man's popularity has only been going up, 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 and up. Like, sales numbers just keep increasing, and it hasn't even gotten an anime. It's not even that it hasn't gotten an anime. It hasn't even gotten an anime announcement. Like, we haven't even seen an announcement. We haven't seen a trailer, a studio. Like, imagine where Chainsaw Man's going to be if it gets a solid studio and it gets animated really well. And it's just one of those things. But from the standpoint of it being a franchise, I don't like I just said, I don't think it would make sense. But there's also the fact from the writing aspect. To me, I think it'd be really weird to have stuff set up from like the large scale stuff set up of like the primordial devils and whatnot. The fact that one of them was like the darkest devil was after Makima. You know, we know now that like the chainsaw devil can erase devils from existence. So logically, if he ever defeated and ate one of the primal devils, that would make them cease to exist. And it would make sense from the primal devil's aspect to not like to want to get rid of the chainsaw, or to at least fear him, or you know, some form of relation that they have some form of caution around him or something. But then there's the aspect from the upcoming story. Why set up that Denji would go try and find and fix power if what would happen to like one chapter or not at all? Like, the way that I'm hoping is it's a new title. It's essentially a brand new a brand new part to the series of the new title, but it takes place after the story that is Chainsaw Man. Like, imagine like, oh, a couple years later, Denji's an adult, or at least like a young adult, and they're like getting ready to go into hell or something. Like, at least what I've seen, I really am hoping that the series itself is not a close, like a new chapter, like a brand new part of a brand new era in the world. Sure, because Makima's gone, the Gun Devil's gone, like who knows what's next. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't want to see this world go. At the same time, there's multiple aspects to it, to my opinion, on what Fujimoto does next. But I really just want like him to not waste a lot of the stuff that he has established, to me at least. Because like, if Chainsaw Man was low in sales and not doing so well, I'd be like, I understand, but it's not just doing well, it's doing progressively better every time like a volume comes out, and its popularity only increases. So to me, it'd be really weird for them not to do anymore. It's kind of like how Kimetsu no Yaiba ended. It was really weird to me because there was stuff set up to do beyond Muzan. I won't go into details. A lot of people know it ended, but there was stuff to exist beyond Muzan. But it was weird to me that they didn't. Like, it was even stuff set up to establish like, oh, we could do more, but then there just wasn't. And it'd be like that with Chainsaw Man. And especially because, like I said, it's not just, oh, I want to do more, but I can't. Because that happened kind of in Toriko. Toriko had stuff set up that, like, Fujima or Shimabukuro could have done more, but, like, I think that sales were just decreasing with how unfortunate the anime was ended and stuff. And I think they were just like, all right, we're not going to be able to kind of, like, fulfill this, crazy larger scale stuff, with the fact that it's on the decline. It was still selling well in comparison to, like, most manga, but each time it was going down and down, and it was unfortunate to see. Whereas with Chainsaw Man, it's only going up. And same thing with Kimetsu no Yaiba, it was just booming. So it was really weird to know that it ended. Like, I'm not saying like every series needs to get milked for everything it's worth, but if the author has stuff that they clearly have an existence of doing, it's weird to me that combined with them having the ideas already established and success of this, like the franchise, it's weird to end it. I don't know. It could end in the next chapter and like the story as Chainsaw Man as a whole and everything in this world with Denji and everybody is over. Easily could happen. We'll see. I'm just gonna hold on to hope. But regardless, I'm gonna read whatever Fujimoto has next. But like the chapter, like, you know, Denji, it looks like he lost, and Makima is just, you know, taking her victory lap. She's just pulling a cigarette from one of the dead people she controlled, just having a smoke, and she's got like the Pochita heart, and she's just happy that she'll have the Chainsaw Man now in full control. She's, in her mind, she's defeated Denji, she stopped him and toppled him, and now her whole idea of erasing all of the bad things and creating like this almost stagnant world of what she considers peace to work. And I thought that was really like a really interesting kind of moment where you had that victory lap kind of scene, to where even though the main character wasn't gonna win, or the main villain wasn't gonna win, you got to see like in their brain an aspect of them winning. It's kind of like how again, it's not the same series, it's kind of like how in Fairy Tail, like Zeref got to have the eclipse, the Neo Eclipse at least set up. Like he was going to win. He had like the thing, like I could, like I set up, I've used the power, I'm powerful enough to do it. And then same thing with Logi eating like the space between time. It gave the villains one big final like accomplishment before it was over. Even though like like it made it seem like Makima won. She defeated him in combat, and she got to have that like moments of like her in victory before she's defeated. I thought that hiccup right there. I thought that was really good, because I really like Makima. I think Makima's, in my opinion, even though this is, you know, now she's done, she was one of the best villains to come out of Shonen Jump. And I think she was at like the time over this whole arc that's been going, I think she was the top villain. I know some people probably push for like Shigaraki or Mahito or Kaido. No, I think it was Makima. I think she was a monster, and like all her whole power, her influence, her design, her presence. I think she was great. But Denji, like in the background, you see him getting up, but it's not the Denji we were looking at, like the chainsaw that they just fought. And there's two things that I want to go over, because Denji goes, he's got like a chainsaw that has like a power design to it that he made out of blood, and just chops Makima right down the chest and like slices her and messes her up to where she's not healing properly. And the way that I thought this was really cleverly done, there are 3 steps to this. Like, one was, we knew Denji was going to have something out of the contract of Denji and power. 2, we knew that Denji had already set something that made sense of him being able to deal with the fact his heart was ripped out, because we saw him rip out his own heart and throw it back into space. So it's not like heart leaves the body, he dies. It seems to be like the heart, though, itself, you have to destroy it in order to kill Denji, is what I imagine. You destroy the Pochita heart, Denji dies, is my guess. But on top of that, because we knew that Denji had some form of memory, like to a degree, when he's in that form. It's not like full control, it's kind of like a haze kind of state. It's like a fever dream, again, as I've said, kind of way that like he wasn't in a degree control, similar to how Aki was. It was this like, they had a very brief idea of consciousness, and what they were doing in that influenced their outside body. But on top of that, Denji in the whole fight, the one we thought was Denji, didn't talk. He did not talk the whole fight. I went and looked through that. I didn't see anything outside of sounds. He made like going, grah. Like he didn't do any sound. Like he didn't talk. And somebody found and pointed out, if you go to, I think it's chapter 94, when Makima's whole forces like group are strolling up to fight Denji is in the group behind her. She was so careless, and like her whole idea of her like level of control and schemes, she didn't notice him, which again was Denji being smart. I like that a lot. I like Denji was tactical in this. But when it's the way it's described is essentially Denji created he ripped the Pochita heart out and then had a Denji form around that, like a fake version of him in that chainsaw form. And while he was like that, he's the one that fought Makima and got her guard down to where he was able to wait, get up, and then have that opportune moment and slash her. And when he did that, what I think was really cool is it was because of Power's ability that essentially he was able to keep Makima from healing. It has to do with like blood-based power and doing internal damage, I would assume. And then Kishibe shows up. We know Kishibe had ideas of how to defeat Makima, and the way that's really presented is Denji's eating her. Denji's gonna eat her, and I'm so interested to see how this goes down. Like, because we know that the chainsaw has the ability to erase devils and eating them, but it's like Denji going to forget about Makima. Like maybe this version, because it's like a diluted Chainsaw Man, like she won't be able to revive, or she, you know, maybe his thing would be like it'll cut her contract and she gets sent back to hell, or she's erased, but her memory isn't, like the memory of her isn't erased because he's not the full Chainsaw Man and like full power or something. Definitely a really interesting twist near the end of eating her, just because it was something established. We knew that it was a way to do it, but we didn't know like the extent Denji was going to go through and like how exactly it was going to do it, and like how it was all going to play out. But Denji in the apartment in the end, I like that even if it's a simple place that Denji lives in, it's a nice place and it's a big upgrade for him. And like I said, even if Chainsaw Man ends in the last chapter and this is the close on the whole story, and it's not like a part to it, there's not like JoJo part 2 or whatever, it's like a full end, at least Denji will be happy. And one thing I will at least be able to take happiness out of is Kobeni would have lived to the end, so that's a big plus. Unless Fujimoto's like last second kills Kobeni, which would just be extra salt into my wounds. But as it is right now, I am really happy that the series is at least still in a good spot. It's not feeling rushed. It's done at a good pace. It logically happened. It was logically all set up and well executed. So now the just a question of what Fujimoto's plans are. Brand new series, continuation, spin-off. What is he gonna do? So other than that, though, comment below. Like the chapter actually like read really fast for something that had a lot of pages. Like it had 19 pages, but I think it was just because there was a lot of like small dialogue parts and a lot of like that big really nice panel spread of like 2 full pages, no dialogue, just action of Denji going into slice Makima. I thought was great. And then this really nice cover or a nice double spread at the end where he's just eating. But I mean, like, still, like, it read really fast, but it was just so nicely done. And I love that Fujimoto's done here. And like I said, even if the series ends, at least it's in a way that didn't feel bad for the series. So other than that, though, from like the standpoint of the series itself, I obviously will be bummed that there'll be a lot of larger scale stuff that Fujimoto won't let us see. But I'll be happy regardless of just like the Denji and Kobeni, or the 2 people I was like, please make them happy. I didn't get Aki to the end, but Kobeni getting to the end will be very, very nice. Anyway, other than that, though, comment below, thumbs up the video, friend the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everybody's already subscribed. I thank you all for listening. Bye.